The 22 long rifle bolt-action Tikka T1x is one of my favorite rifles. It is the rifle that I imagine myself grabbing to head off into Z-Day. Reliable, accurate, and able to run well with subsonic ammo, with that quiet subsonic ammo. I like the original polymer stock paired with the vertical grip and a T3X rubber butt pad. I have paired my lightweight hikeable setup with a light and low Weaver V3 1-to-3 power optic. With this setup, I have earned Project Appleseed AQT scores that exceed my Appleseed optimized Ruger 1022. Now, while I haven't suffered a broken firing pin in my T1X, I've heard from many Tikka T1X owners who have and are unable to find a replacement. Beretta is a U.S. importer of the Tikka line, and neither they nor any U.S. gun parts seller seems to have the Tikka T1X firing pin in stock. And even if you were to find it in stock, it costs over $70, although it includes the firing pin spring, the hammer spring, and the hammer. Now, Chris Zajic, a Tikka T1X owner, has come up with ZP Machine to offer a titanium firing pin for the T1X. Not only is the titanium firing pin more affordable, but will likely prove to be far more durable than the stock one. ZP Machine's titanium firing pin probably weighs a bit less than the stock firing pin, but nothing that my scale could detect. Dimensionally, the ZP Machine firing pin is the same except for a slightly longer forward shoulder. It's really just a bearing shoulder, so it's not a problem. Installation is pretty easy and straightforward. You will need a gunsmith hammer, a 3/32 inch punch. Also helpful is a gunsmith block and small needle nose pliers. First step is to remove the bolt from your T1X. To make things a bit easier, grasp the forward of the bolt and rotate the bolt handle to lower the hammer. Use your 3/32 inch punch and your gunsmith hammer to tap out the rearmost pin that holds the plastic shroud and the hammer spring in place. It looks like the pin has a bit of a flange on the left side, so tap the pin out from the bolt handle side and tap it all the way out. Remove the shroud, hammer spring, and hammer. And then slide off the bolt handle. To extract the firing pin, you will need to tap out the pin in the middle of the bolt. This time, because of the flange on the pin, tapping it from the left side to the right. I would try to tap it out just enough to release the firing pin. Do not lose the tiny spring that fits on the tip of the firing pin when that firing pin finally comes out. While you have the bolt disassembled, I recommend giving the parts a good cleaning and then coating with Sentry Solutions Tough Glide. I would apply a couple coats. Allow each coat to dry between coats and then fully dry before reassembly. Sentry Solutions, being a dry lubricant, will not attract carbon, dirt, or debris. It almost makes your 22 self-cleaning, and with any luck you'll not be disassembling the bolt again for a long time. I use Sentry on all my firearms, and I believe it plays a role in some rather astonishing reliability. If you use a wet lubricant, be very stingy in application. I like to make sure all parts are coated with Sentry Solutions Marine Tough Glide for both lubrication and to prevent corrosion. Here I am using a long, thin Q-tip to clean and dry lube the firing pin channel deep within the bolt. Once Sentry is dried, it's time to reassemble the bolt. If you completely remove the firing pin's retainer pin, I recommend getting it started so that it is just starting to be visible inside the firing pin channel. Then place the tiny spring on the tip of the firing pin, and with thin, long needle nose pliers, guide the firing pin into its channel. Then use a long punch, maybe about 5/16 inch diameter, to depress the firing pin. You should be able to depress the firing pin and witness it protruding from the bolt face. And then release, and the spring should back it out. So apply some light pressure with the punch to hold the tail of the firing pin past the retainer pin. Drive the retainer pin in with your gunsmith hammer using the brass side. A few taps and it should be holding the firing pin in place, allowing you to remove the punch and finish driving the pin into position. Use a 3/32 inch punch to fully seat the pin so it is not protruding from either side of the bolt. Now slide the bolt handle over the bolt, insert the hammer so that the sear sets into the bolt handle notch, the fired position. Insert the hammer spring, and verify that the hammer cocked indicator is properly fitted in the shroud. Make sure that the holes for both parts are lined up. Place the plastic shroud with the hammer cocked indicator in place atop the spring and press down to where it meets up with the back edge of the bolt handle. Check that the retainer pin hole is lined up with the shroud, the cocked indicator, and the bolt head sleeve. Insert the pin while holding all this firmly in place, and give the pin a few taps of your gunsmith hammer to get the pin started. Well, then holding things in place while you continue to drive it flush with the plastic shroud. There are companies that make replacement metal shrouds, but I really have no issues with the polymer shroud, so I'll keep with it. The shroud isn't a mission critical piece. It could break off and take the cocked hammer indicator with it, and the rifle would still be functional. So now grasp the bolt firmly with your left hand and the bolt handle in your right hand. Press the bolt handle counterclockwise to force the hammer up into the cocked position. The bolt will not go back into the rifle with the hammer in the fire position. Insert the bolt into your rifle, work the action, and verify with the dry fire test. Then take it to the range for some live fire testing. I spent about 300 rounds testing mine at the range, shooting from various positions: prone, squatting, standing, and also left and right-handed, of course. Did some magazine changes and whatever, but fired about 300 rounds and it worked perfectly. And that was even with mostly using Browning BRP ammo, which I found to be a little bit less than reliable, but yet it let off every cartridge. So things look pretty good, and I have confidence that my firing pin will probably last a very long time. I do still have my original stock firing pin, and then when I ordered the titanium firing pin, I ordered a spare, so I have 2 spare firing pins for my Tikka T1x, so I feel like I'm pretty much ready for Z-Day. Check out the links down in the description. I've got a link to our website where you'll be able to find out where you can order one of these titanium firing pins for your T1X, and also I have affiliate links for the various tools and things you might want to get to help you when it comes time to do the installation. Here I'm using the Lube sling as a shooter's aid. I highly recommend attending a Project Appleseed rifle marksmanship clinic. Here I'm shooting from my favorite position, squatting, fast to get in and out, and a pretty stable platform. Since my support arm is looped up with the sling, I'm reaching across with my trigger hand to work the action. Here I'm shooting left-handed offhand. Since I'm not using a sling as a shooter's aid, I'm operating the bolt with my support hand. I really need to keep my head upright more and bring the rifle stock up to my cheek. I conclude with a nice dry fire on the empty chamber. Mag changes with the T1X are easy, easier than the 1022 when it's running a flush 10-round mag. Back to prone in the loop sling. Slow fire prone is key to earning your Project Appleseed Rifleman patch. One of AmGun's very first video series was Appleseed Prep. Check it out to get a head start on earning your Rifleman patch. At Project Appleseed, you'll learn to shoot from field positions. You'll learn about natural point of aim, steady hold factors, and the 6 steps to firing the shot. And while a semi-auto rifle like the Ruger 1022 or the Tippmann M422 are considered ideal rifles for earning your Rifleman patch, the bolt-action Tikka T1x can hold its own with easy magazine changes and superb accuracy. Running the manual bolt action does disrupt your natural point of aim, but in the first and final stages you have plenty of time to reacquire and test your NPOA. What little disadvantage you suffer in the second and third stage will be counterbalanced with the T1X's exceptional trigger and accuracy. Once you earn your Rifleman patch, you can move on to known distance events, either centerfire or rimfire, and the ultimate test is the unknown distance event held at Whittington Center in New Mexico. Project Appleseed rifle marksmanship clinics are held in every state. See the link in the description to learn more. It's Mark Laughlin speaking for the Ambidextrous Gunfighter. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.